On this episode, I talk about wine, Reddit, and becoming a YouTube sensation. Everybody, this is Gary Vaynerchuk, and this is the Ask Gary V Show, episode 11. Steve, can you give me a 1? 11. Hey guys, super excited for episode 11. Fun fact on number 11. 11 is worn by the sleeper last pick that you should take in your fantasy draft this year, Jeremy Curley. He's going to have a big year.
Chip asks, if you owned a winery in Napa, what would your left jabs look like?
Chip, thanks for the question, and honestly, I've been reading the feedback. Thanks for the critiques yesterday. Some of you took it a little too far. I mean, what I was really saying from critique the show was give me compliments, not actually nitpick and find something to upset me. But anyway, I want to start answering these questions in a different little bit of a way, and so thank you guys. You guys continue to evolve this show. Big shout out to people that have been tweeting and Instagramming the fact that it's been interesting to watch the show evolve from 1 to 10. It is pretty crazy for the amount of shows I've done and videos I've done to watch it actually have an evolution, even within 10 shows. You agree with that, Steve? Show Steve. Zach, do you agree with that?
Yes.
So to answer your question, I'm going to answer it in a way that I hope everybody who's listening doesn't miss the point that this works for everybody, not just wineries. If I was a winery in California, I would actually make my jabs Wine Library TV. Let me explain. Could you imagine if a winery in Napa Valley did a show where they tasted wines from all over the world that were not from Napa and critiqued them and gave their thoughts? All of a sudden you start looking at them as an authority instead of somebody who's just pitching their wine, right? Everybody wants to go the route of let's show the day in the life, and they take video of cropping the crap and tasting. Nobody cares about that. They'll care a little bit about the dog running around, and if you teach them the dog's name is Goldie and make more videos about Goldie, they'll care about that. But where they really want, and what you really want, is utility. The reason this show exists is this is the next coming of my ability to give utility. I'm giving content that actually is a little more tangible. Now it's opinion, so take it for what it's worth, but you've decided you're gonna allocate your time, and I've somehow become important enough to you, or you're curious enough about my POV and brings value. Value comes in entertainment, value comes in a lot of forms, but I really do think opinion, context, information, these things are very powerful. And so to answer your question is, I would just review other wines from the world and give my 2 cents on them, because then you're leveling up and not just pitching. In the same way that everybody here, instead of talking about their products or their ebook or their blog, can talk about other stuff. Hence, look at the structure of this show. These are questions from you that I have to respond to, thus they matter more to you. You have to put out things that matter more to others. That's a little bit of my curveball. Take it for what it's worth.
Ivan asks, do you respond to posts, tweets, emails, messages, or get your staff to? Some people delegate this. Do you?
Ivan. One of the by the way, I selfishly, this is a humble brag question. Put a humble brag hashtag. Ivan, the thing that I might have the most pride in the world is that I have responded, that every tweet that has ever come out from these 2 fingers. Every email, these 2 fingers. Now the content, Mr. Stunwin here helps me quite a bit to make it actual English. But look, Steve, you're here, yep. And I know you're not a sellout, so let's go. The
tweets, the emails?
No, not that.
Those are all yours.
That I already said, we know. I do get very nervous that it has to be my transcribe.
Oh,
yeah. We had a lot of, thanks Zach, thanks for the head nod. We had a calibration of early on you're trying to help me in my limited adjectives and but I do put, that's an important part.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all the base materials this guy, 100%. I just add the sprinkles. Not even sprinkles. I just rearrange the plating.
He turns it into English, guys. I can't write for shit. And so at the end of the day, it is something that matters so much to me. So I do it, all me. No assistant, no social media person, no Vayner employee that's really good that captured my voice, that was my fan for 9 years. None of that.
Chef asks, what food or foods have you added to your new lifestyle that you're enjoying the most?
Chef, Once again, I went with a different tactic. There is no foods that are new. No, we went a different route. Mike, who you saw in the last episode, we went to the supermarket and I told him the things I liked that were conceivably healthy. Mangoes, shellfish. Luckily for me, I like everything, and so there has been no additions. This has been about subtractions.
Arsha asks, how can I converge my vision of being a YouTuber with my parents' vision of getting a university degree?
There's a very simple answer. Most people say, what college did you graduate from? Not what was your GPA. So you should easily be able to become a solid D student or C or whatever it's needed to graduate, which should give you the flexibility to become a massive YouTube sensation.
Chelsea asks, what are your thoughts about Facebook banning like gating soon?
Chelsea, I actually think I think Facebook is maybe one of the worst PR'd companies in the world. They have done so much more good than people realize. They are the gold standard of the future of marketing because they do so many things for their users because their users are their business and they understand it. By not allowing brands to like gate or call hardcore like actions, they're actually helping brands and businesses and small businesses understand that it's not about getting people to be rewarded. Win a free crown if you subscribe to this show. You understand what I'm doing there, right, D-Rock? All right. Win a free crown if you subscribe to this show. That's not gonna do me any good if you really care about gold crowns. And the amount of people that built their fan bases on on Facebook in 2009 and 10 by offering free iPads was insanity because those were Apple fans. They weren't fans of your cereal. So I think Facebook, once again, is making a hardcore move that is actually helping the users and the businesses.
Greg asks, your thoughts on Reddit? Not social media, or do you find it useful?
Greg, Reddit probably sits firmly in one of the 3 or 4 places on the internet that I underachieve on and wish I did more with historically and spent more time with. I don't spend as much time in the Reddit community as I should. Steve's a huge fan of Reddit, and as Steve became a bigger part of my life and somebody I cared about, it actually quietly made me check it out more. We did an AMA with my book. We're trying to do one right now for social media.
Our social media?
Yep, our social media, so we're gonna try to do that in September. I got an email in my inbox. I know you've been asking, that's been my fault. Do I find it useful? The question is, are you asking me as Gary the human being, do I find it useful? The answer is, not that much because I'm not taking advantage of that amazing world that's been created there. Do I find it useful as a marketing tool? I have looked at it that way and feel like it's a very interesting place because that community is very solid. You don't want to jump in and spam. Reddit's done a nice job creating some advertising structure that I think is consumable to the community and good for the brands. It's up to the brands and their creative shops to make it Reddit-y. And I think a lot of people struggle with that. But if you understand the slang, the lingo, the vibe of that community, and you can play in that space, I find it useful as a place that business can be done, but business 2020, which is really respecting the community, or you are going to get annihilated. Thank you, my friends, for watching episode 11 of the Ask Gary Vee show. My question of the day is very simple. What are you doing this weekend? Thanks so much, guys, for the first couple of weeks of this show. As many of you know, because this is a very hardcore group, haven't really started the big promotion yet of this show. I'm going away for 2 weeks coming up. I'm a little bit scared that you guys are gonna fall off while I'm gone, but it's the last 2 weeks of August and you should be spending time with your family and chilling out because that's what happens in America, inspired by Europe. And I kind of expect D-Rock to probably make a mixtape of the first 11 shows. That was me basically telling him to do that, and I will be back with vengeance. You keep asking questions, I will keep trying to answer them. Hey everybody, this is Gary Vaynerchuk, and you're watching The King of Today I talk about little old ladies, luck, and being a great right hooker.